Hello and welcome to EclecticElk Plays Guns of Icarus. I will be hopefully playing a game with Razor's Edge, and I will try to explain a little bit of the game and how we play it as we play, but there may be other people in chat and I cannot control what they are going to say, so if you are in any way sensitive to offensive language, this is my pre-warning. I have no control over it because I can only control my own mouth. So here I am joining Razor's Edge's team, and this is my character. I am going to be playing what we like to call a gungineer. Essentially, I am an engineer, which means I am in charge of fixing the ship, but I am also planning my loadout so that I can repair decently well, but not extremely well because my focus is going to be inflicting damage on other ships. So I've loaded out a few tools that are pretty good at repairing or buffing, but not necessarily the best for their jobs.
Blackened, do you know that you have no weapon that kills hull?
So this is the Guns of Icarus Online lobby. Depending on the size of your match, you are waiting for everybody to fill up all of the spaces and, you know, get set up for the battle depending on the type of ship you have or the type of character you need to play. If you do not know, this game is a steampunk airship battle game, and basically the entire point is to defeat your enemies.
Yep.
Lobbies can last a long time. I think this one lasts about 5 minutes, so we are going to cut the rest of it out and actually get into the match. You may actually get into the match mid-conversation, and c'est la vie. I like these guys.
Yep.
My funny word is nowhere near as funny. I couldn't say foggy.
Foggy?
I could not say foggy. It was froggy outside.
You still say that.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
So, at this point you're going to hear some of my ship conversations as well as me talking over top. Currently I'm using the buffing hammer, which is used to essentially increase the durability of a part of the ship. So I'm increasing the durability of the hull at this point during the game.
And on your right, somewhere off in the distance, you'll see an invisible wall. Please do not crash into said invisible wall.
Or said pillar in front of our faces. I have blurred out chat just because I did not necessarily get permission from everyone in this game to be recorded in my episode. If you're flying, yes.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, darling. Love you too.
Sorry, the thing I repair most is the hull. So at this point we are on a ship called the Pyramidion. It has 2 guns on the front, designed to ram things very well, as well as a few guns on the side, and then all the other parts of the ship are just kind of wherever they end up. And we are on a team of 2 looking for our opposing team of 2. Wow, for a second I thought the Guardians was,
There's a junker, both of them, right over there. They're just
hold fire, hold fire.
So our opposing team has junkers, and I just used I could see it, but it wasn't spotting it. The spyglass to attempt to spot them so they show up on our map.
What the hell?
You scraped bottom.
Where did we... Oh, scrape bottom. Okay. Right, an invisible wall, so I can't go that way.
I think invisible walls were the first trolls.
You can't go through that little gap to our map block.
Also, the Guardian's mic was malfunctioning, so you can barely hear him. I could barely hear him when I was playing this.
You know, I might be able to. I'm gonna try.
I don't
Not
think I'm
able
going
to.
to like this.
Oh, then probably not. Well, you go directly straight, parallel with the pipe. You should just squeeze it.
Or we get stuck here and then become sitting ducks. Essentially, we got trapped by an invisible wall, and we were like, let's shoot for the gap! And it was a very bad idea, as you can see by the fact that I now have to repair the balloon repeatedly.
Ow.
Turn around, go ram it.
No. Don't get stuck.
And I just fell off the ship. Just go backwards.
He's making it, sort of.
Eventually.
So the tool I've just been using to repair things is called the pipe wrench. It's about 50-50 good at repairing and rebuilding. Rebuilding is when something is broken so bad that it's non-functional until you rebuild it.
I'll have to keep that in mind. If I had just started lower, we would have been fine.
They're still there. They haven't moved.
Now that we're unstuck, we're trying to go after our enemies.
There they are. And they've spotted us, so they're turning to engage. Oh, they spotted
What are we
us.
aiming for?
Engage your dad.
That did not
Shoot
sound
your
right.
dad.
So what I am trying to shoot the enemy with is a Artemis rocket launcher. I'm quite fond. It has a somewhat decent reload time and has a decent magazine for something that packs so much punch. I've also equipped burst rounds, which are designed to be more explosive than a regular round, therefore inflict more damage. And we have just rammed a junker. First one's down. The character on our ship who's playing the gunner is currently on the Hades cannon, and it's basically like an old school cannon with flaming cannonballs. I'm not so fond of it because trying to figure out range on that thing is quite frustrating. Engines are out for them. This is creepy. I can see their captain running around in panic.
I know, isn't the ability to see other crews just endlessly entertaining?
Entertaining and unnerving. Especially since they didn't have it when I first got the game. I'm gonna go buff things.
Attacking your dad.
The most frustrating part about having the buffing hammer as your tool is that a buff wears off, and you have to restore it. Especially if something breaks down completely.
There's the other junker respawned in.
Port side guns, port side guns.
And now I have to deal with fires. How you get achievements in this game is quite often by completing a specific set of tasks, but the numbers are astronomically huge. Sometimes it's easy to achieve, sometimes it's not. And when you do enough achievements, you go up in rank. Or going to be very soon. So that's what it looks like when something breaks completely. We have to rebuild it before it's actually there. Now it's back.
Okay, up front, up front.
And more fire. Can't because things are on fire. Now, a Pyramidion is a great ship to fight on until you get stuck. Thankfully, at this point, we have not gotten stuck, and we've been able to keep on moving and trying to engage our nemesis.
Okay, we're running from this fight.
Part of the pilot's essential toolkit is things that make the ship go faster than they should, which unfortunately damage the ship simultaneously. So even though we're trying to escape, our engines are slowly burning out due to the kerosene that our captain is using. Which is Razor, by the way.
Okay. Hallelujah.
So now we're in a mad panic trying to fix everything. This is usually what happens to engineers. Especially if you're what Razor and I like to call the primary engineer, the one with the best tools for each type of job.
There's actually an achievement called, but I just fixed that.
Pretty sure I got it already.
We get more repair help. They're picking up our engines as best as we can build them.
I apologize for that. That was my cell phone. And it's in the game footage, so I can't edit it out. Ow, the hull. Ow, everything. Now you notice that second bar on the hull that slowly disappeared? When it's gone, you're dead. That's one of the ways your ship is sunk. They've also introduced, if you notice, little circle points on our map. Those are points in which our captain can choose where to spawn in. Hopefully you spawn in somewhere where you can actually help your teammate. But sometimes, like in that case, we really didn't have anything that would be more helpful than anything else.
What I was hoping for is that our ally would ram them head on, get them off us.
Did you ask them to?
Yes.
That's unfortunate.
He missed.
Oops. I have been a pilot before. It is not my favorite role, but if you are trying to hit something with your own ship, it's usually not too hard of a task to undertake. Oh yes, I was saying about achievements. As you get them, you level up in whatever job you've taken on. So, that's why some people will have like a number and a title in front of their actual gaming tags, and my gamer tag's EclecticElk. But in the game, that actually is Greaser EclecticElk, because I am a rank 4 engineer, and rank 4 engineers are called Greasers. He went for it. When you're playing a deathmatch, which is what this is called, you're playing till 5 kills. So currently the red team has 3 kills and the blue team has 2. And we need 2 more to win. And now it's 3-3. That's a little too tight.
Ram him.
You missed.
Missed on purpose.
What about the balloon? Two of your more vital pieces on any ship are your balloon and your hull. If your balloon pops too much, you risk crashing into the ground and being destroyed. And without your hull, you fall to pieces. After that, I'd say engines, because without them, you can't move anywhere and you can become a sitting duck. Guns are kind of the last priority to fix when you're an engineer, unless there's a special situation, or a certain ship where it's actually more valuable to have guns. Another thing you'll notice is at the bottom, there's 4 silhouettes of the tools that I have equipped. You can either switch them using your mouse's scroller wheel or number keys, so number 1 being my pipe wrench, and the numbers ascend from left to right. And this is where our game starts to go a little sour, because we also have to wait to deploy, so our poor teammate has to hold out long enough for us to get back in the game. When I'm a gungeoneer, I always start off buffing the hull because that's the one item I really don't want to fail, especially if I'm far away from it.
Some of them rather large.
What's rather large?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Ew. You're like 12.
The world, in fact.
Actually, we're pretty small.
Try not to crash into something. Just put fresh paint to go to paint on this hull.
Also, when you buff things, the one thing where a buff will fade off the absolute fastest is a gun, which is really kind of frustrating.
Damn.
And unfortunately, we lost. It's kind of a sad thing. Oh, and the little thumbs up next to people's names, those are commendations. If you like the people you're playing with, you give them a thumbs up. It helps you get certain achievements, and it's also just nice to know that you're actually doing well playing with random people on the internet. So, this is the end of EclecticElk Plays Guns of Icarus Online. Hopefully I will do this again at some point in the future, but I have no idea when, because this is a game where I can basically just teach you, or you can watch me play. That's about it.
See you, Lance.
Now there's random lobby chat, people reevaluate their teams, they switch out, they say goodbye, they say goodnight,
Hooray!
which is what I'm going to
I'm not
do
exactly
now
the best
to you lovely
player,
viewers.
but as captain,
I wish you a
does
wonderful
anyone
night
want to take a
wherever
turn
you are.
flying
This
a
is
ship?
EclecticElk signing off.